Hey guys, what's up? It's your man Pete, back with another video. And just thought I would do a quick little update on what's happening in the market, in the Toronto and GTA market, sort of as it happens in real time. And I just went through a pretty harrowing and challenging experience working with a buyer client of mine who was originally looking for a townhouse in like the Vaughan and Markham area, and it turns out that they couldn't afford to buy in that region. They had to keep going further and further out, so they went all the way to Ajax and Pickering in order to secure something. Anything. But I'm glad we were finally able to get it done. We had to make a few adjustments and pivots along the way. So shout out to Christina and Sherwin for doing a fantastic job in securing your property and for your beautiful family. Congratulations to you guys. I'm very happy for you. But now back to the matter at hand. And for anybody who's out there looking for properties right now, whether trying to buy or sell, knows that it's basically volcanic magma lava hot right now. And if you look back at my previous videos over the years, I always do videos early in the year, sometimes as prediction videos, really just to help people understand what's really going on in the markets as it happens as we're out there working in the field. Over the years, it's been progressively worse and worse, right off the bat in the beginning of the year. Like when I was working with clients before, January was actually a very opportunistic time because there's not as many people out there, there's not that many properties, which is sort of the bad thing. But the key thing was there wasn't that many people out there looking for properties, but it's been progressively more and more over the years, and definitely the pandemic has not helped that situation, no matter how much snowfall lands on the city. And so typically the coldest months are usually the hottest months for real estate. It's sort of becoming a cause and effect. And so you do have sellers now who are very opportunistic and taking advantage of this time to put their homes up for sale. It's a little bit challenging to show properties during this time because it's cold, right? You can't really get out of the house. People are tracking in snow and dirt and salt all over your house. But from an interest and in terms of getting top dollar for your property, January and February always sets the tone in terms of price and demand because there's just so few properties for sale and the demand is just so incredible, because sometimes it carries over from the previous year where buyers weren't able to lock in a deal and they're desperate to do so as quickly as possible early in the year. But this year, I'm not gonna lie guys, it really takes the cake. In my 12 years in this business, I have never seen this level of intensity. I think the whole city and the whole region has never seen this level of home buying intensity ever. We are making history right now, and it's fucking nuts out there. Which is why if you need help buying or selling a house, you know who you need to call, because we've got the experience, we've got the knowledge, we've got the intuition. We know how to help you execute the deal and secure a property for you, and then also we know how to help you pivot and change directions and make adaptations so that you can finally get into something. At least some point this year. It's treacherous conditions out there, guys. I mean, I literally equate it to trying to climb a mountain, like Mount Everest. Like, you can't really do it alone. You need good equipment. You need a great team. That includes the mortgage or the bank that you're working with. But most importantly, you need a good Sherpa. I'm not calling myself a Sherpa, but it's just for illustrative purposes, all right? The idea is that we've been there. So we're going to guide you and navigate you and help you make really good big and small decisions when it comes to buying or selling your property. And the key thing is that we're just here to help you execute and get the deal done, to help you get from point A to point B, the top of the mountain. But just to provide you some context, all right? So we were looking at townhouses in the Vaughan and Markham area, and stuff was selling for around, say, 1-1 in middle of December and even in the first week of January. But literally in 2 weeks, the entire landscape has changed. Those properties that were originally selling for 1.1 2 weeks ago are now selling for 1.3 to 1.4 million dollars. Some have even cracked the 1.4 million mark. So we're talking easily a $250,000, $300,000 acceleration in 2 weeks. It's absolutely absurd. It's probably not sustainable, but it's just something extraordinary that we have to talk about. It's simply breathtaking. And for you buyers out there, I feel your pain. It's incredibly stressful. You got to borrow money from people. You got to do whatever you need to do. You got to, unlock some investments or RRSPs, like whatever. You got to do whatever you got to do to get what you need to get. But then the moment that you realize that you can't get what you want necessarily, you can end up getting something that you need. Those are the kind of things that we're going to have to figure out as we work together here in 2022. So don't hesitate to give us a shout here at Selling Toronto. We are happy to help. But yeah, the market is so incredibly hot. You know, the desperation, the fear is literally shaking people like a rag doll. No, correction. It is shaking people like a dirty rag. And there's just literally no choosing houses anymore. It's really just like you're trying all these different houses and trying to see which house is going to choose you or which seller is going to choose you. So that's why we're seeing so many offers, because people are just literally trying for everything. Like they're just so desperate. The house doesn't really matter. Even to a certain extent, the location doesn't even really matter anymore, which is why we're seeing 30, 40 offers on properties. Yeah, in Toronto Central proper, yeah, they've had those for a while now. Now it's happening out in the GTA 905 region as well. Honestly, it's dizzying and mortifying. But it also sounds like there will be some good news on the horizons coming very, very soon. I don't know if you can call it good news. I think the talks are really intensifying in terms of raising interest rates, and it sounds like we're going to probably get a pretty healthy raise next week. I wouldn't be surprised if we end up seeing half a percentage point, because we're battling with inflation right now, you know, so food costs are up, gas costs are up, home prices are definitely going through the roof. And so what will certainly happen is that we will get a mad rush until the interest rates kick in, but I assure you they're probably going to come very soon. And so if you want to have that conversation with your mortgage broker or your bank to maybe go with a fixed rate versus a variable, that's a conversation that you might want to have. Some people are probably still sticking to variable right now, so they have a little bit more flexibility. But I mean, because of what's happening in the US also, they're dealing with inflation as well too. And so the talk has been that they're looking to do probably 3 interest rate hikes this year alone in the US. So I really wouldn't be surprised if Canada follows suit, or at least we have 2 interest rate hikes this year. But it's really due now. We really need to have interest rate hikes to sort of slow down and manage the housing market just a little bit. Personally, I don't think it's going to have that huge of an impact. It's probably going to have a small impact. It really comes down to the supply here for us, right? We just don't have enough homes for sale. There's not enough people selling their properties, just more people buying and acquiring. It also sounds like the provincial government is really starting to work closely now with the municipalities to try to figure out how we can bring more supply onto the market. Honestly, I don't know if they can do anything. They're pretty much handcuffed, and we're not going to be able to build houses fast enough in the next couple of years to meet this demand. But we definitely have to start somewhere. Something has to happen, or they really have to clamp down on investment locally, you know. So we have to prevent people locally from buying too many investment properties, but you know, maybe we'll talk about that in another video one day. But the idea is that everyone's putting in offers. They just want to try, and so we're seeing extremely high numbers in terms of offers. We're seeing 20, 30, 40 for just your standard run-of-the-mill townhouse. So basically, you don't want to make it sound like you're settling, but the idea is that you're just trying to get into something before it gets even more expensive, and then you can't even get that thing that you didn't want. So you know, if there's any positive out of it, it's that you have to be more open-minded in this market, especially if you're looking to buy a house. So you can't be picky, guys. You can't be nitpicky. You can't say, oh, I don't want to offer on this house because I don't like the paint color. Like, honestly, everyone's going to roll their eyes at you, including your parents, your realtor, your friends. So you got to be decisive. You've got to move fast. You've got to be prepared. And so you really need to have your numbers straight and proper, and you really have to understand market, locations, and demand right now. If you're looking to list, sell, or upgrade and transition into a bigger property, you guys definitely need to give us a call so we can help you manage through that transition very smoothly. There's a strategy in place on how to do all of these things. Like, there's a lot of steps involved, and so you need somebody who's been there and has so many years of experience to be able to help walk you through and guide you through that process so that it's a little bit more manageable. And as we say in the real estate world, or just pretty much everything else in life, is that timing is everything. It used to be like archery, where you would shoot at a stationary static target. These days, going for properties is like trying to shoot that same bow and arrow while riding a bucking bronco. And so I really feel for you guys out there who are trying to buy properties, but there's definitely a better and more organized way to go about it. The key thing is that you don't want to give up, all right? And honestly, looking at past sales figures really doesn't matter anymore. So yeah, it's like, fine, that house sold last month for this price, but it doesn't really mean anything, okay? So you have to be able to see into the future. You have to be able to be very aggressive. And at the end of the day, you're going to be stretching your budget. It's going to be uncomfortable, and you're going to be getting less than you originally thought. Really, at this point, people just want to get into a property, any property, before they can't do it anymore, or before they get priced out and they can't even get anything anymore. That pretty much just sums up the Toronto real estate market in a nutshell. Okay, it's also kind of fun. It's a little bit exciting too. too. You know, there's not a lot of stuff going on right now. So, you know, buying and selling a house is really very fun, a little dramatic, and definitely adrenaline inducing. And it certainly gets your competitive juices going. But at the same time, you also need to have a clear head. You need to be logical, and you need to work with the pros who can help you get through this situation and help you get to the top of that summit. And frankly, having that level of stress and anxiety over an extended period of time is probably not good for your health. So you kind of just want to get it done as soon as possible. You know, having a real estate coach like us here at Selling Toronto, it's kind of like having a personal trainer. You know, we're going to be stretching you. We're going to have to push you to your limits to make sure we help you get into better shape, right? Or to help you lock into a property. But then at the same time, we also really care about your future well-being. And so we're going to do our very best to get you what you need. Maybe not what you want, but we can definitely help you get what you need. And you just got to work closely with us so that we can apply our knowledge and intuition and what we know about the markets so that we can finally get it done for you. I know it's a lot to process right now, but if you're ready to make a move, and especially if you're a seller, we need more supply. We need more listings out there. And if you're transitioning from a smaller property to a larger property, you know who you need to call. Of course, it's us here at Selling Toronto. We can help you get top dollar on your property, and we can help you manage all the chaos that happens when it comes to moving your family, your finances, and your house. That's our promise to you here at Selling Toronto. We make the process easier and smoother for you. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Leave us a comment if you need some direct service. Feel free to email us or call us. Speed is essential. Constant communication is essential. And you need someone who's been there before who's going to help you make it happen. So we would be happy to help you in your next journey of home ownership and transitioning into a new life and maybe even into a new neighborhood. So we'll see you guys again, and thanks for watching. Bye for now.